Happy Friday evening, Big Orange Nation. We are just a little bit more than 24 hours away from Tennessee, North Carolina State in Charlotte. I've put an emphasis on Charlotte this week with, of course, Tennessee playing this neutral site game there. I've discussed why I feel it's important for Tennessee to play in places like Charlotte. I'm getting to one of those reasons tonight. That is recruiting. And you think about this current cycle for Tennessee, the 2025. You've got David Sanders Jr. in the fold. You've got Charles House in the fold for Tennessee. You've got players the last few years. You've got Davin Hobbs on the defensive line, who I expect to be a really good player for Tennessee when it's all said and done. You had Jalen Wright, who just went to the NFL, among others here recently. Currently looking at Tennessee has up to 5 guys on the current roster. Of course, James Pierce Jr. from the Charlotte area. If everything plays out the way we hope with him, he could be a top 5 draft pick this year, in which Tennessee needs that. They need those players up in that mix because you are showing that to these players. In this cycle coming up for Tennessee, the state of North Carolina 2026, Tennessee's pretty much done with their 2025 class. Now, I think they'll try to flip a couple guys who are committed other places. I don't think they're totally done, but the heavy lifting in this class, it's basically for them maintaining what you have. And then, do they try to get another running back? I really think running back is the only place they have left to go. I mean, if there's a good, maybe defensive line possibly, but I don't even know if defensive line is a target either. I know Garner normally likes to take at least one guy out of the portal. He's done it each year, and I don't blame him. Just add depth, add good depth to this team. But Tennessee does have, for Tennessee, when they're doing their thing, the state of North Carolina, the Charlotte area has been big for them. And I still say it, and I said it in my video talking about the neutral site games. The Nashville area, the Atlanta area, the Charlotte area. Now, I'm not talking about just those cities in general, but the surrounding areas as well, which I'm sure you're picking up on that also. Those 3, to me, are Tennessee's big areas. They still need to recruit Alabama. I think another area that could be big for Tennessee is the Maryland Tidewater area, D.C. area, I guess you could say. With Maryland, D.C., that Northern Virginia area, I feel that's one I'd like to see Tennessee get a real foothold in as well. But this Charlotte area for 2026, North Carolina's loaded for 2026. And, of course, Faison Brandon's in the fold. He's not from Charlotte. He's from that Greensboro area. But here's where it's big. You get David Sanders Jr., Providence Day in Charlotte. Well, they've got 2 more big-time guys there, among others, right now. You got Kendra Harrison, tight end, according to On3. Number 2 in North Carolina, number 10 overall tight end. Now, the big thing with him is he's a basketball prospect as well. And from the articles I've seen, he did back in July cut his top 6 or cut his list to 6. Tennessee is on that list. Do they allow him to play basketball? I have to think, and there's another player this dual sport's going to play into here in a minute as well. Here's the thing with Tennessee, and this is numerous sports. Now, you look at the Lady Vols, Lauren Hurst, recruit out of Tennessee. She's a big-time basketball player. She's a big-time volleyball player. She wants to play both in college. If you're not allowing her to do that, you're not going to get her. I think it's the same thing with Harrison here. How serious is he about playing basketball? If he is, and the articles I've read says he wants to play college basketball to the next level, you give him that opportunity. I think it's a tough window for it to be able to happen, but if he's that good of a basketball player, I think you at least give him the opportunity. And then, down the line, if they need to make that decision, you do. I'm totally getting with Rick Barnes from Josh Heupel. I mean, it's obvious they have a good relationship, the way they, went out to Omaha, supported Tony Vitello. It seems all those coaches seem to have a really good relationship with one another. If I'm Josh Heupel, you want this guy in the fold, another tight end, a big-time tight end to add to the fold. They put such an emphasis on it. Alec Abelin has really stepped it up in his game for tight end. This is another one from what I've read, Tennessee. I mean, I'm not saying they get him. Don't get me wrong on this, but they seem to have, just as good of a shot as anyone else. They seem to be in pretty good shape with him. So, and again, I say seem to. Nothing is the only things for sure in recruiting is the unsure. Okay. We've seen it before. Guys seem to be solid. That last weekend before signing day, I'm going to take a visit just to have fun. And then, yeah, it ends up fun. All right. When they decommit and go to this school they visited at the last second. It's happened to Tennessee. It's happened to numerous schools around the country. But with Harrison, it seems Tennessee is in a good spot with him. Not saying they lead or anything like that, but they've done a good job with him. To me, that tells me they're selling him on playing both sports. And I think if you're serious about getting him, you're going to have to sell him on playing both sports. And what school is going to offer the opportunity to play for two big-time programs like Tennessee if things keep rolling the way they are right now? Another prospect, dual sport I mentioned here as well, Rodney Dunham, defensive end out of the Charlotte area. He's ranked number 6 in state, number 45 overall, according to On3. Here's the thing with him. He's football. He's also supposedly a pretty good pitcher in baseball. He was in town this summer. All these guys I mentioned have visited at some point. From what I get, they have talked with Tony Vitello, met with him. So the dual sport aspect, it's got to come into play here if you're going to be serious about getting him. And it seems like that is a real option for Tennessee to get Dunham. So you would add, I mean, it's a pretty interesting combination, a defensive end and a pitcher out of it. But, as we've seen, there's some pitchers are pretty good size young men out here playing. So that's another one. Number 6 again overall in the state, number 45 overall. Samari Smoke Matthews, another one. I was reading an article for him. He was in Knoxville this summer. He's been there numerous times. Seems to have a good relationship with Willie Martinez, with Tim Banks. He is a cornerback. He's ranked 7th in North Carolina, 65th overall. He's another big-time target for Tennessee in this Charlotte area, and one that it seems like they have made a good impression with as well. Leo Delaney, he is supposed to be at the game. Now, I'm not sure how all this works because from what I've seen, and maybe it's because NC State's the home team in this, but from what I had seen, if a David Sanders Jr. or someone on Tennessee side's going, they've got to buy their ticket. But from NC State's perspective, I was reading about they are able to provide tickets. Leo Delaney and then the next guy we'll talk about here in a minute will both be there, I guess, as unofficial visitors for NC State. Leo Delaney is an offensive tackle. He plays at Providence Day as well with David Sanders Jr. Projections right now have him favored South Carolina. I think Tennessee is going to be in this one, though. I've seen some of the maybe it's Austin Price or Matt Ray, I can't remember, saying that thought Tennessee, Michigan may be the ones. Here's the thing you got to figure with it. Why this game may be important is North Carolina State likes to recruit this Charlotte area as well. North Carolina State's a solid program. All right. Doran's been there a long time. He's done a good job on it. I think they still need that year to get over the hump to the next level that they've not gotten to. But it's a solid program. It's a very solid ACC program. I think I saw that they're second in the last so many years to only Clemson in wins in the conference. And Delaney will be there this week. He's ranked 8th in the state of North Carolina, 101st overall, according to On3. Another offensive line recruit. You take all the linemen you can get. Iron sharpens iron. You want to get the best you can. You want to continue to build on what they've started to build on that offensive line. This is if they finish this 25 cycle off with the guys in the fold. You have that 24 class, which I thought was a good offensive line class. You added Hurd from LSU, who was former 5-star talent. You got to keep adding to that, okay? You never get content on your line with the talent you add. Here's a couple guys, defensive and offensive. You want them in the fold. And the last one I've got mentioned here is Brody Keefe. He's a wide receiver, ranked number 16 in North Carolina, number 299 overall, 4-star. All these guys are either 5 stars or 4 stars. Keefe will be there this weekend as well, according to the article I was reading just a few minutes ago. But he's another guy. Some of the pictures he has a Tennessee shirt. He has been to Tennessee's campus before. So these are 6 guys. Now, there's more talent than that in the area. Don't get me wrong. That's why 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, and 16 are the ones I mentioned. There are more. All right. But Tennessee's not necessarily at this point showing in the equation for those guys. But again, I had the video yesterday talking about why neutral site is important. Okay. Yeah, these guys can go to any campus when they want to on a weekend or something. But if you get that opportunity, you're playing 7 home games already. You're playing 4 conference road games. You've got 1 game left to do. Why would you do a home and home non-conference in this day and age? I think it's senseless with it. That's why they bought out of BYU last year, moved that game to Nashville, and played Virginia. They're doing Charlotte this year. They do Atlanta next year. They're doing Charlotte again. I think it's 27. I may be wrong. It's 26, but they'll be playing West Virginia then. Tennessee is smart doing that. Going to your hotbed, you get out there. Hopefully you can get some of those prospects in to see you. You take that opportunity when you get it, because not only are you able to play in that town or that city, it's not a town, it's a city, you're able to get out and see some games as well if you're that Tennessee staff. Charlotte to Tennessee is big for 2026. North Carolina, for the overall success of Tennessee, is big. Smoke Matthews, who I said is ranked 7th in the state, 65th, he said he kind of considers Tennessee as almost like a hometown team. He said it's about 3 hours. And these guys that's coming there, he says it's a short drive. So he almost considers it kind of like a hometown team due to the drive. That's big. That's big because, it just is. It's vital to Tennessee's important. It's vital to Tennessee's rebirth, which we'll get more into next week. But it's almost go time. We're a little over 24 hours away. Cannot wait for that. I don't think I'm going to have any content coming tomorrow, as I am going to the game tomorrow. I'm excited about that. I'm excited to see the Vols play. It's been first time in a couple years since that. There will be a next day on Saturday. If I'm able to get a video out in the stadium tomorrow night at the end, I'll try that. But I don't know if I'll be able to get the service or not for that. But thank you for your support. Leave me some feedback. Leave me some comments on this. Be greatly appreciated. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. You share this out. And if you have not already, subscribe to the channels. We're on that road to 2,000, and we're just going to keep on rocking and rolling. So I hope you have a great rest of your Friday. This is Frank Rock. This is your Everything Vols channel, the House of Orange. Have a great Friday. And last but most certainly not least, go Vols.